Hi, preschoolers. It's been a little while since Miss Amanda has done a video. Well, today for our read aloud, we're going to learn about bees. What sound does a bee make, do you think? Yeah, they go buzz, buzz. Can you try that? Buzz, buzz, buzz. And there are different types of bees. You have honeybees, you have bumblebees, and bumblebees actually do not have a stinger. Those are the little fluffy ones that you see kind of bouncing from flower to flower, and they're really good at pollinating. And honeybees have a stinger, but they'll only sting you if you're messing with them or their queen. So really, bees you shouldn't be scared of. Bees are really good for our gardens and for our flowers and for our environment, which we're going to learn a little bit more about later on. But let's get started with our bees, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to hide these wonderful floating controls so we can see everything. And let's get started. This is called Beez Buzz by Schnell, which means she wrote the words, and it looks like she probably took care of the pictures in this book as well. There's our glossary. We're going to try to look for some of these words while we read this book. So we're going to try to look for bee, flower, food, and hive. Okay. I hear a buzz. I see a bee. Right there, that's one of our words. The bee looks for food. The bee sees a garden. The bee finds food in a red flower. Here's our buzzwords. The bee flies to its hive. Many bees live here. The bee dances, it buzzes. Other bees watch and listen. They know where to go. The bee flies to the garden. They find food. Look at them. They're using their little proboscis, and see how all that yellow stuff that's on their legs? That's all the pollen that they're collecting from these flowers. They're going to take that back to their hive, and that's what they're going to use to make honey. The bee flies home. All bees asleep. Have you ever seen a bee fall asleep? Look how cute. Look at his wings. So remember, an insect has 6 legs, antennae. Most have wings. They have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. This little guy, he's even got a little bit of, looks like fur on him. He's actually kind of cute. And that's the end. So that was a really quick little story about a bee. Well, I have another story that I kind of want to read to you. And this one's called, it's a National Geographic story. And this story is a little more in depth, and I kind of wanted to do 2 in 1 so we could get a little bit more information. So this one's called Buzz Bee. So last one was Beez Buzz, and this one's called Buzz Bee. All right, so it looks like we got some vocabulary. So nectar, pollen, hive, and honey. Buzz bee. A bee flies in the air. It looks for a flower. There's a sweet treat in flowers. It's called nectar. Can you say that? Nectar. Let's clap it. Nectar. Nice. The bee drinks with his proboscis, which is the thing that sticks out. It comes out like this, and it goes right into the flower. The bee eats pollen. It gets pollen to take home. See how it carries it in a basket on their legs like I showed in the last story? A bee's home is called a hive. Many bees live in a hive. Bees put pollen in the hive. This makes honey from nectar too. So they use the pollen and the nectar to make honey in their hive. Now there's food in the hive, and other bees can eat the pollen and the honey. In the hive, a bee dances. The dances tell their other bees where to find nectar. So how they communicate is through their buzzing and through the movement of their bodies. They kind of waggle dance. The bees fly out of the hive. They look for nectar. They use the dance to find the right flower. Buzz bee. The end. So look here. See how he's using his proboscis right here to suck the nectar out? Isn't that kind of cool? And then there's the pollen that he's carrying all over his little body, little tiny balls. It says here, do you think you can dance like a bee? Could you do the waggle dance? Waggle dance, buzz, 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 waggle dance, buzz, 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 buzz. So that are our 2 books about bees. And we're going to talk about bees, and then we're going to talk about how they're important for our gardens and for things that grow. Because bees are an insect, and we've been learning about insects. We've learned all the body parts, we've learned the life cycle of some of our insects. And so now we're going to take that and support it in other avenues. So I hope you enjoyed these 2 quick little books, and I will see all of you soon. Bye.